Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, residents could receive Pfizer vaccines by Monday. A hero's welcome for Team Bahamas, and hospital workers on New Providence and Grand Bahama call in sick. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Jillian Gray. Topping news tonight, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says the time for thinking is over as he urged more Bahamians to get vaccinated. 120,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine arrived in country this morning. Officials say the Pfizer rollout could begin as early as Monday. Kyle Joaquin reports.
Around 9:15 this morning, this plane touched down here in New Providence, bringing 128,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, a gift from the U.S. government.
Me? I only want to live. Next question.
The Prime Minister shrugging off a question of which vaccine he'd prefer now that there are options. With 128,700 doses of Pfizer now in country, Bahamians will soon be able to choose whether they want that brand or AstraZeneca, and at the end of the month, Johnson & Johnson will join that list. The Pfizer vaccines, the first tranche of nearly 400,000 doses to come from the United States.
What we need now is Bahamians to come forward quickly to take the vaccines. We need Bahamians to get vaccinated as soon as possible to save lives in the country.
With hospitals over capacity and the country averaging over 100 new cases daily, Minnis once again making an urgent plea for Bahamians to get vaccinated.
You do not have any time to wait any longer. You do not have time to keep thinking about it. The hospitals are full to its limit. Sadly, some of our people are dying, and taking the shots will save your life.
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Usha Pitts says with so much misinformation, she urges Bahamians to get the facts and get vaccinated.
The problem here in the Bahamas is the vaccine hesitancy. So please, please, for the love of God, get vaccinated. Excuses are over. There's plenty of supply. There's plenty of choice. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for your Grammy. And if you won't do it for your Grammy, do it for your country. But get vaccinated so we can get through this and return to normal life.
On Wednesday, Minnis said by the end of August, there will be enough vaccines in country for everyone who chooses to get vaccinated. And with over 200,000 more to come from the U.S., Pitts says the goal is to ensure there is no longer a shortage in country.
I think the critical thing is that making sure that the second tranche gets here in time to keep the vaccination campaign running. So we don't want any more lags in the vaccination campaign. We want to make it what it is right now, which is that any Bahamian who wants to get vaccinated can walk in and get vaccinated. That's the goal.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Olympic gold medalists Stephen Gardner and Shawnee Miller-Weibo are back in the Bahamas after making the country proud during Tokyo 2020. Jared Higgs tells us about their hero's welcome.
Surrounded by a few of his fellow Olympians, 400-meter gold medalist Stephen Gardner was greeted by the sounds of Barabbas and the Tribe Junkanoo group as he arrived home from the Tokyo Olympics. Reveling in the festivities and displaying his gold medal proudly, Gardner picked up a pair of cowbells himself. With several Olympians on hand, Gardner and double Olympic champion Shawnee Miller-Weibo were both inducted into the Wall of Champions, the country's sports hall of fame. Their portraits will hang among the greats at Lynden Pilling International Airport. Speaking to the media, Gardner reflected on his massive win.
The final 50 meters, I'm looking at the big screen to the finish line. I saw I was out there, so I just kept it moving and kept it going, and once I crossed the line, I was just like ready to just like in tears, but I held my emotions back.
Miller-Weibo, now a double Olympic gold medalist, arrived later in the afternoon. She was joined by her husband, fellow Olympian Michael Weibo. She reflected on her induction into the Sports Hall of Fame after her record-setting performances.
It feels great to finally be. Yeah, it's a great feeling to have Stephen up there with me.
On a lighter note, Gardner opened up about his 400-meter semifinal when he ran in a T-shirt. He jokingly blamed his teammate, fellow gold medalist and friend, Miller-Weibo, for him leaving his jersey in his hotel room.
Long story. It was all Shauna's fault, for one. She came to my room and because we ran on the same bus together, and We were just talking and I forgot to put my actual jersey in my bag. It was right on the bed and I forgot to put it in. So when I got to the call room, I looked at my bag to put my numbers on and I didn't see it. So I was like, crap, either I run or I forfeit. But I didn't care. I came too far to forfeit, so I tucked my shirt in my tights and I went on the line.
Well, Miller-Weibo responded and shared her reaction to seeing Gardner in that T-shirt.
We all came out to the stadium and we were watching in the back because I was doing a shakeout at the time and or warming up for one of my races, I can't remember. But remember all of us are looking up at the big TV and we were like, is Stevie wearing a T-shirt? But no, I mean, he still went out there, he still ran well. It's not on me, that's on him. So I'm going to clarify that.
Gardner paid a courtesy call on Governor General C.A. Smith this afternoon, and the pair have engagements planned for this week. While Gardner still has a 200-meter event in Switzerland this season, Miller-Weibo says she's shutting down for the year. Reporting for Our News, I am Jared Higgs.
Over 100 public health care workers called in sick today, severely impacting services in critical departments, including the morgue, lab, pharmacy, and blood bank. The BPSU says workers are angry over the promised honorarium. Bethany McDermott has the details.
150 employees staged the sick out on New Providence and Grand Bahama Thursday, forcing senior health officials to either suspend or delay important services at public healthcare facilities on the two islands. On New Providence, the morgue suspended services, while Princess Margaret Hospital's lab services, radiology, and diagnostics reported delays. Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson says workers are upset after some of them didn't receive the COVID-19 honorarium promised by government.
We are finding out now that there are different categories of employees in the healthcare system that have not received the honorarium. Significant areas, I drew reference to laundry, I drew reference to housekeeping, I drew reference to the lab, I drew reference to radiology.
The Public Hospitals Authority confirmed the sick out began at 8 a.m. Over at the Rand Memorial Hospital on Grand Bahama, lab services were delayed, phlebotomy services were severely impacted, and blood donations were suspended. Pharmacy services at public clinics on the island were also impacted.
We have some sick calls in our laboratory area, so of course that's impacting our ability to serve our patients in those areas as quickly as possible, inclusive of the return on results for treatment of patients.
Williams was asked how long will the facilities be able to operate with a staff shortage.
It's not a matter of whether we are prepared to carry on. It's a matter of needing the staff support to be able to provide maximum services for our public. So we need the staff to return to work as quickly as possible.
Now, Ferguson also expressing disappointment in PHA.
This again is an indication of how dismissive the administrations are, or the administration and the employers are, in relation to the union. I don't want us to conveniently be partners. I want us to be partners on all fronts, on all issues, so that we can seek a resolve.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
As Princess Margaret Hospital continues to operate at capacity, an additional 2 wards are set to provide more space by next week, according to Health Minister Renward Wells. He said there will be more COVID beds.
We have in country probably about 100, nearly 140 COVID beds. We have been adjusting our circumstances at PMH. As you know, we have another 2 wards that's going to come on stream that's going to give us probably by next week an opportunity for another 34 beds. We are moving very quickly with the contractors to ensure, because they're like 98, 99% completed.
130 COVID-19 cases were confirmed yesterday. 146 cases are in hospital. Wells said the government hopes to increase vaccinations to help flatten the curve and achieve herd immunity by Christmas.
Unlike the first and second wave, we have the solution for what ails us. And now more so than ever, we have it on the ground, that is vaccines. So I'm just encouraging the Bahamian people to go ahead and get vaccinated so that we can move beyond this. And we've seen the results of it in other countries who are experiencing surges right now a lot of nations around the globe, the vast majority, are experiencing surges. But in those nations where they continue to vaccinate, we're seeing a downturn. The curve is beginning to flatten as their people move forward and present themselves for vaccination.
Meteorologists keeping watch of Tropical Depression Fred amid cloudy conditions in the capital. Greg Thompson is in studio with current conditions. Good night, Greg.
Thanks, Jillian. Our first look at weather tonight is being brought to you by Nestum. New look, same great taste, distributed by Lightburn Trading. Outside our studios, we are in the mid-80s, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We'll call it humid. That humidity is actually making the feels-like temperature in the mid to upper 80s, and we do have an easterly wind at 8 knots. Satellite view, Tropical Depression Fred downgraded to a depression overnight, spreading showers and thunderstorms across the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. Showers are now moving into the central Bahamas. We do have some showers to the north of the Bahamas. That's associated with an upper level low spinning across Florida. But overnight and through tomorrow, we expect more showers continue to spread across the island chain. That's your first look at weather. Stay with us. We'll have more on Tropical Depression Fred. Back to you, Jillian.
Still to come, a teacher charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a teen, and senators debate the state of emergency. Stay tuned.
The Great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch Our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow Our TV Originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch Our News Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to Our TV Originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
A physical education teacher at a primary school was charged before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in Grand Bahama today with one count of unlawful intercourse with a minor. It is alleged that 39-year-old Valentino Munnings unlawfully had intercourse with a 14-year-old girl. He pled not guilty to the charge and was granted $9,000 bail. He will return to court on December 1st for trial. Meantime, an office administrator at a popular bakery was charged in the magistrate's court today with 18 counts of stealing by reason of employment, 8 counts of falsification of documents, and 3 counts of money laundering. It is alleged that between July 2018 and January 2020, Revette Miller stole over $107,000 from 3S Bakery through cash or falsifying entries in QuickBooks to appear that checks were paid to various companies. Between July and December 2018, she allegedly collected over $35,000 on a Scotiabank account in the name of Arab Medical Supply and Trading. Then between December 2019 and January 2020, she allegedly acquired over $71,000. Miller pled not guilty to all charges and will return to court on November 8th for trial. She was granted $12,000 bail. Senators today passed a resolution to extend the state of emergency to November 13th. Vonnie Toot reports.
Attorney General Carl Bathel calling it sad that opposition members would speak out against a state of emergency extension.
Had the opposition in voting no been successful, we would have had at least 3 to 4 days where all whatever could have break loose, and everybody, whatever the bucket could go, and everybody could have done what they want to do, and we would have no legal regime to assist people and guide them.
However, PLP Senator Dr. Michael Darville hit back, insisting it is shameful that the Minnis administration saw it fit to release the bill for consultation in its final hours of governance, while seeking parliamentary approval for a 3-month extension.
This is shameful, because the government could have easily laid this bill for consultation prior to the last recess, and we could have come back here today to have a debate and passing of the amended version of this bill, incorporating ideas from the opposition, civil society, medical, religious, and the business community, rather than seeking another 3 months extension, once again stripping us of our constitutional rights.
Darville said this is not what Bahamians bargained for, adding legislation designed to stop the spread of COVID-19 could have been passed last year.
But 17 months was not enough for the competent authority. He wanted wanted to round it off to 20 months. So now he's back to our parliament asking like Oliver Twist in The Tale of Two Cities, please, sir, may I have some more?
Bethel insisted the government never intended to extend the state of emergency once again, but was forced to change course in response to an alarming spike in cases. He told the Senate the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Management Bill is just a difference in name. The bill would empower the Minister of Health to declare a public health emergency and to impose restrictions including lockdowns, curfews, and the closure of our borders, businesses, and other institutions after consultation with the Prime Minister. He described the powers set out in the bill as reasonable and justifiable, adding they will pass a constitutional test.
So we expect that there may well be, once this bill is brought into effect, some challenges on the basis that maybe the order went too far or adversely affected John as opposed to Mary. And the courts will sort it all out, as they say. They will sort it all out.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Vonique Sood.
When Our News returns, government to amend the beneficial ownership law. Plus, COVID cases close 6 government offices on Abaco. The details after this.
The Great Choo Choo Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 Choo Choo Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow our TV originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch our news Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to our TV originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Attorney General Carl Bethel responding to reports that the government did not disclose the beneficial owners of firms receiving COVID-19 payments. According to the Auditor General's report on the IMF's disbursement of $250 million to address the COVID-19 pandemic, officials were provided with a listing of suppliers of works and services that received payments for the delivery of goods and services related to COVID-19. While request was made for the beneficial ownership of these business entities, the same is pending. Bethel said to publish the information would be a breach, but the law will be adjusted.
To publish the information in light of the law as it stands today would amount to a breach of an individual's common law rights to privacy and confidentiality. Let me say that our registered beneficial ownership law was designed based on the nature of the way we do business in the Bahamas, in terms of our financial services sector in particular, but also in terms of the generality of what our law permits in terms of company and corporation. It is for the basis, on the basis of confidentiality.
Bethel insisted the solution to this problem is to amend the current law to include the Ministry of Finance to the list of authorities entitled to apply for and receive search results of the register to obtain beneficial ownership information. He added the regulation is currently being drafted.
The company names were supplied to the Auditor General, and it was open to the Auditor General to have listed those companies in his report, but he didn't. Let me say that this is a small country, and everybody knows who in the business. And you only need to see the name of that company, and you know who the beneficial owner is. At least all of your competitors do. And if your competitors do, it won't be long before everybody knows. The point is, we have an international obligation. We intend fully to meet it. The law can be adjusted. It can be amended by regulation. It will be done within the very short order.
Rising COVID-19 cases prompting the competent authority to impose a nightly curfew on mainland Abaco, where several government offices have been closed. Residents call the tighter restrictions necessary. Vonique Sood reports.
COVID-19 cases prompting officials on Abaco to temporarily close 6 government offices on the island to prevent further spread of the virus.
Staff has been tested positive for COVID-19. And to my recollection, we have the Office of the Prime Minister, which is closed at this time. The Passport Office is closed. The Road Traffic is closed. Department of Social Services is closed. And I have been receiving reports that the magistrate has temporarily closed our office due to the rise or the surge in the COVID-19 positive testing here at the complex.
Ministry of Works.
Minister of Works.
Since July 14th, 101 people on Abaco have tested positive for COVID-19, according to Ministry of Health COVID dashboards. However, Pastor Silbert Mills fears the actual number may be a lot higher.
The individuals are going to private doctors, and the private doctors are administering the rapid antigen.
Which doesn't count.
It doesn't count for the government statistics. Silbert Mills goes to the pharmacy, and he goes home in isolation and never goes to the government facility to be tested with the PCR testing. And so I'm not counted because I didn't do the PCR testing as far as the government is concerned. And so we think the numbers could be 3 times greater than what it is.
The rising numbers are particularly concerning for Hopetown residents. Deborah Patterson says she feels they let their guard down.
A couple of our bars and some people had some parties, and all it takes is for one person to have COVID, and the next thing you know, it spread like wildfire.
In response to the rising numbers, a 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew took effect on Abaco's mainland on Wednesday. Owner of Vernon's Groceries, Charles Vernon, says he feels government should have also imposed a curfew on Hopetown, where he says at least 30 cases have been confirmed.
Even this morning, people have come to my door and said, we forgot our masks. And I said, well, I can't help you. Yesterday, a guy threw his purchases on my counter, but I told him he'd need to have a mask.
Reporting from Abaco for our news, I'm Veronique Tude.
Still to come, what you need to know about tropical depression Fred. Stay with us.
The Great Choo Choo Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 Choo Choo Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow our TV originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch our news Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to our TV originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
Fred has been downgraded to a tropical depression. What does this mean for the Bahamas? Greg is back with the latest.
Thanks again, Jillian. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. Of course, we are tracking tropical depression Fred, which is now just to the east of the Inagua area, tracking along the east coast of Cuba. Showers and thunderstorms associated with the system spreading across the southeast Bahamas and now moving to the central Bahamas. We also have some showers across the extreme northern Bahamas. Upper level low across Florida, and we have another one spinning in the Atlantic, is actually pulling some of this moisture across the area. So as Fred continues to move towards the west-northwest, we expect more showers and thunderstorms to be spreading across the Bahamas. Fred is actually going to move just to the south of Florida by Friday evening, and we do expect it to strengthen a little bit. It could become once again a tropical storm, but by that time it should be to the west of the Bahamas. Taking a look at our track for Fred, Fred is going to continue to move on that west-northwesterly track at around 15 to 16 miles per hour. By Saturday, we expect that system to be across the Florida Keys, and of course, showers and thunderstorms associated with that system will continue to affect the Bahamas, so we're looking at a wet pattern for the weekend. Speaking of a wet pattern, we're looking into the Atlantic for some more activity. Another area that we are watching out there in the open Atlantic continuing to move towards the west, and that one is expected to move into the Caribbean by the end of the week and into early next week. And the National Hurricane Center is giving that about a 60% chance for some formation. So we will continue to watch these systems as we are nearing the peak of the hurricane season. Boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. We have an advisory posted, east to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots, 15 to 25 knots, pardon me. Seas very rough, 5 to 8 feet. Winds will be higher in showers and thunderstorms, while in southeast Bahamas, the winds coming down some east to southeast, 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 7 feet over the open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Tuesday. More showers and thunderstorms in the forecast as Fred continues to move towards the west-northwest. Back to you, Jillian.
Thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jillian Gray. Do have a beautiful evening.